there, fantasy owners. This is Sean, the Fantasy Ace with the hat, here to bring you the latest tips, tricks, and tools you need to dominate your leagues and contests. This week we are talking about Richmond International Speedway. As the final race before the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup begins, Richmond is a crazy track. It's a short track like Bristol and Martinsville, but it is also a bit of its own thing too. As such, fantasy owners should make very careful judgment of their picks this week, as it's easy to crash like other short tracks. And speaking of picks, here are my 5 picks to spotlight for Richmond. My first pick is a driver who's been probably the most consistent driver all year in the Sprint Cup Series. It's Kevin Harvick, and Richmond is one of his absolute best tracks, where he has an average finish of 8.3, and he also is a 3-time winner and has 9 top 5 finishes at this track. And I expect Harvick to grab at least one more, or maybe even a win this week at Richmond, so definitely use him in at least one of your lineups. Richmond is the very last race before the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup, and those drivers that are still on the bubble definitely want to use this race to capitalize for their chase chances. And Clint Bowyer probably is the best driver to do this, as he's a 2-time winner at Richmond starting 26, which gives him good potential for finishing upside. And also, he has an average finish of 11.4 with 11 top 10s, so watch out for him this week. Richmond is one of those tracks that allows a driver that has lower value to actually be very viable to a fantasy lineup this week. And Justin Allgaier is the perfect driver to fulfill that role. As he starts in the 18th position, he also has a 22.3 average finish at this track, which is very good for a driver of his value. And remember, earlier this year he finished in the 18th spot. So he has potential to maintain his position and really be worth his value. Use him in at least one lineup this week. Richmond is one of those tracks where a driver can easily crash out, so you want to have somebody that's going to be able to finish the race with a very good position. Ryan Newman can easily accomplish this for your lineup this week. He starts in the 13th position and has a good history at Richmond, having a 10.9 overall average finish. And if that wasn't enough, he also has ran 75.9% of his laps within the top 15, which is pretty impressive. So Ryan Newman is definitely one of the best drivers you can pick for a lineup this week. Apart from Justin Allgaier, there is one other driver who's been a solid pick for lower value at Richmond, and that is David Ragan. He starts in the 5th position, and he has 3 top 5s at this track. He also has an average finish at 22.5, showing he has the ability to be worth his value. So definitely use him in at least one of your lineups this week. So, that has been the weekly DFS NASCAR report, starring me, Sean, the Fantasy Ace with the hat. If you guys would want to talk more about NASCAR with me, be sure to follow me on Twitter at SeanMan247. And that has been the report this week. Good luck with your leagues and contests, and see you next week when the chase begins.